Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner Football Fans podcast. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Sooner Terry.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful Podcast Palace in a Lincoln Riley free Norman, Oklahoma.
Where we're not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma or Lincoln Riley.
Nor do we want to be affiliated with Lincoln Riley. But we do have eligibility left. Let's just get to it. I mean, I've had our listeners sending me DMs and messages. When are y'all going to talk about this? Are y'all going to get an emergency podcast out? Well, first off, me and Rob very rarely ever do anything in an emergency unless it's play golf.
No, I run to the bathroom all the time, Terry.
But
it's an emergency, I promise you.
We are, just so you know, to get any of your hopes shot down, we are not going to reveal anything surprising here.
I would like to mention that I have signed a letter of it. No.
We are fans like you guys are, and we share our thoughts and feelers. We do have fans that are wanting to come on and share their thoughts and feelers, which really scares me because a couple of them, like Demo and everybody, are
this is a PG-13 show.
Are violent right now.
Yep.
So, let's just run back through the only good thing about this. Well, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say the only good. The good thing about this happening is that we don't have to talk about Saturday night. So, boom. But we will talk about Saturday night a little bit.
Do we have to? I mean, I got Aggies coming out of the woodwork. It ain't even funny.
Got the University of Oklahoma website pulled up here. Head coach Lincoln Riley is still listed as the head coach. They haven't updated.
He's not our head coach.
Yeah, but gone. Alex Grinch, gone. Good riddance. Thank you. Goodbye. You produced the number 70 defense in the country. Guess what that is, Rob?
Bad.
Worse than what it was in 2017.
When he came in. That's right.
So, USC. You can have him.
He's definitely underwhelmed this year. Both of them.
Yeah,
both of them.
Dennis Simmons gone. Farewell. He is a product of Texas Tech. Kel Gundy will be here until hell freezes over. So, which I think is a good thing.
Unless whoever the new coach is,
fires him.
See ya.
Bill Bedenbow is contrary to, unless something comes out between when we do this and later, Lincoln Riley, we listened to his presser out in L.A., did not mention Bill Bedenbow as coming with him. So Bill Bedenbow, as far as we know, is still the offensive line coach at Oklahoma. So Calvin Thibodeau, still at Oklahoma. Roy Manning, still at Oklahoma. Brian Odom, Jamar Cain, DeMarco Murray, Joe John Finney. Clark Stroud shocks me because he has been part of the Oklahoma program since '92, and you said he was a roughneck?
He was a roughneck.
So that's
That's his master's degree from OU.
However, a lot of people are happy they're not going to have to see those little Friday feelings, Friday mood tweets that he puts out. And the best of all, Benny Wiley is gone because I've listened to Teddy and Gabe and and I've seen a bunch of former players. They have felt like, they have all said, team not being physical is one person and one person only's responsibility. That's a strength and conditioning coach. And they didn't say it, but they kind of hinted around to it that they felt that Oklahoma was soft. These former players during the season that it was soft. And that's a direct result of Benny Wiley, another Texas Tech product. So USC is now Texas Tech West.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, and I know this is just my fandom here. I hope they lose every game this next year. I really do. Yep. I hope they leave all of them coaches sitting on the tarmac somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and we're like all fans, everybody believes their university is better than everybody. Why would you leave Oklahoma? And I still said that. I have said all along, there's not a better job out there than Oklahoma. There's more money.
Okay.
There's more money out there.
You say that. Think about where our last 3 coaches have come from.
What do you mean, the last 3?
Bob, Lincoln. Well, and I was thinking Alex Grinch, but
yeah,
they were all assistants.
yeah.
How does one of the top universities, one of the top 5, let's just say top 5, and I think we're hiring that blue blood program, and we're hiring assistant coaches. Now, obviously, Bob and Lincoln were pretty good hires, but like USC pulled one of the top coaches in the nation.
Yeah.
Well, Alabama pulled one of the top coaches in the nation.
I think it is, and from listening to the Josie on the press conference today, it's the way he does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
he definitely does it differently.
Yeah. He pulled, he's pulled 2 head coaches for the women's basketball and men's basketball. Is it time for him to do that here? Honestly, after listening to that press conference, I have full faith. Whoever they got in mind is going to be good.
Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, everything that we're hearing right now, it's like 90% Brent Venables.
Yeah.
Which I think is best for us because he's going to be bringing a handful of recruits with him, and we're losing a ton of kids right now. So I think it's right now it's up to 8 decommits and a transfer, right? Yeah.
So far, the only one who is officially transferred has been or gone into the transfer portal is Spencer.
Oh, I thought Theo Weiss did as well.
I heard that, but I haven't been able to find anything. But I mean,
well, maybe not. But we know from what Bob said at the presser that several are considering it just in case they don't like who Oklahoma brings in.
Right. And he actually said he encouraged it. Doesn't mean they're going. They want to.
Man, I wouldn't encourage that just for the simple fact you hit the portal and some team like, I don't know, let's just say Alabama goes, hey, we're going to be kind of short on linebackers or whatever, come on, play for out,
Yeah.
If that happens, whoever's just like, yeah, I'm just going to see what's out there. They get an offer from Bama, they're going.
Yeah. But I don't know. I see nothing on Theo Weiss's Twitter that says that he has.
Well, we can't afford to lose anymore, so I certainly hope he doesn't, and I hope nobody else does as well.
The only thing he retweeted Spencer's announcement and says, "You know how we rockin' 7 love." I don't know what that means, but yesterday Theo Weiss did tweet out "Wow" on November 28th. So these kids didn't know anything, and we're going to lose them. But then again, I've listened to a lot of people, seen a lot of stuff out there. Whoever comes is going to bring people too. The same goes. You know what I mean?
Let's hope that if it's Venables, that he brings a bunch of D linemen, right?
Yeah.
But I'm hearing Yui Ungalele. Let me try that again. Ungalele. Maybe there's too many lays in there.
Is he the Clemson?
Yep, Clemson quarterback who actually played horrible this year.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably a fantastic athlete.
Yeah. The podcast on the Prairie, you can find them at the Prairie Pod, which is actually Braden Willis and Jeremiah Hall, who have a podcast out. Go check out theirs. They break down what happened on Saturday. So all the stuff that you've heard about fights and screams and hollers and everything ain't
total BS.
It's BS. The funny thing, did you listen to? I sent it to you. Did you have a chance?
Yeah.
The funny thing was, what caught Jeremiah's attention was our meeting started late. Our meetings never start late. And that made everybody kind of like, what's going on?
Yes, I'm up.
If we're supposed to be there at 5 o'clock, the meeting starts at 5 o'clock. If it's 7:45 a.m., it starts at 7:45 a.m. And this didn't start. According to what he says is that Bob Lincoln.
And he was there, by the way.
Yeah, and he was there.
Yeah.
Bob and Braden both said Bob, Joe C., and Lincoln came in the room together.
Mm-hmm.
Made the announcement. Bob, everybody talked and everybody left. According to what Joe C. said today, was the players, when Lincoln left the room, applauded. So that's a weird catch-22, I think, for a player. You kind of like what Caleb put out. I'm happy for him. I'll see what's happening with me. The funny thing is, though, I thought Jeremiah Hall was like, I'm looking forward to playing for the old ball coach, Stoops. He's like,
he's still a popular coach.
He recruited me. I mean, it's not like these guys don't know him. Bob's been around there a lot. These guys, it's going to be interesting, though.
Well, here's the thing about the whole shebang about that, Terry, is we cannot hate on Lincoln for taking a job paying $12 million bajillion dollars a year. I mean, if somebody walks in and goes, "Hey, Terry, we know you work for Company X. You come work for us. We're going to give you a gazillion, billion dollars." You're going.
Well, yes and no.
No, you're going. Don't sit there and lie to me, Terry.
I'm serious, Rob. I have talked to people. I've worked in management. Obviously, I'm not on the Oklahoma level, but
what is that? The Texas level? Then?
Not the Oklahoma University level.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
my bad.
And I've always had a belief, and this was taught to me by somebody I work for, a supervisor, is that money is a Band-Aid to a bigger problem. Okay.
Well, that may be true, but what's he making here?
I don't know.
$7 million?
Yeah.
He almost doubled his salary.
But he's in California. What did Scotty tell us?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's making the same amount of money.
Well, yeah, basically. Here's the thing, though.
I think this is my opinion. Again, Rob and I have no inside sources. But my opinion, the things that I've heard, I believe that Lincoln was not happy with the SEC.
I mean, personally, I have to agree with you. But here's something you're not considering, Terry. They play a whole lot of beach volleyball in L.A. Right?
True that.
Okay,
true that. True that.
I mean, if we're doing pros and cons, that's got to be in the pro column.
Yeah, there is.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, there is beach volleyball, collegiate beach volleyball.
But come on, I mean, another $7 million a year.
Yeah, but I mean, it's to me, and I've had people come. I've literally talked people out of leaving. The company I work for.
Did you offer them $7 million?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just went. You got to start all over. All the time you've put in earning 401k and all the money you've paid into. It's a whole different story, a whole different deal. But money is not. Obviously to me, money is not the answer to everything. Obviously, to Lincoln, it is.
Well, I mean, let's talk about some fringe benefits. They bought him a $7 million mansion, bought it for him, and said, "Here you go."
Which is a 1,000-square-foot house in California.
It's somebody's lean-to next to their house. Oh, and by the way, free use of the personal jet.
Yeah.
Just in case he wants to go down to 7-Eleven, he can hop on the jet and go.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
But I think I've told you this before. I turned down a job in California.
Did it involve a jet?
No, it didn't involve
no jet. Oh, wow.
But I was offered more money.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I did my research. The cost of living calendar, and it said the same thing. That I know it's different. It's $10 million versus $10,000 a year, but still, and that's not an issue with Lincoln Riley. You know what I mean? It's not $10 million, $5 million to me. It doesn't. I think there was more to this. I listened to radio shows today. We've all said it all year long. What the hell happened to Lincoln's offense?
For the year.
For the
entire year has not been the same offense as we seen last year.
For the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This is an offense that was number one the previous 4 years. If not number one, number two. Bounce between there. Okay? It's number 27.
And I think that may be because we just got a stud at quarterback.
Huh? Yeah.
I mean, if listen, nothing against Spencer, because I still think Spencer's a great quarterback. But if he stays in there, we're in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe even further than that.
Here, I put this little. I'm scrolling through.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. We were blaming a lot of it on the offensive line. Listen, against Baylor, Caleb had 5 full seconds almost every play to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So.
Here in 2017, Oklahoma had the number 1 offense, the number 67 defense. We were Big 12 champions, college football playoff. Okay,
right.
Mm-hmm. That's what Lincoln inherited. That's what he did in his first year. In his last year, in 2021, had the number 28 offense, the number 70 defense, came in 3rd in the Big 12, and we're going to either the Alamo or the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah. Out of those two, I can't pick which one's worse. I mean, if I was going, I'd probably want to go to Cheez Bowl because I like
Cheez-Its, exactly.
But, I mean, they're both, excuse, but they're both shit bowls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But at least we're going because Texas is not going to a bowl. That makes me feel good, though.
That makes me feel good, yeah. But, I mean, there's so much emotion and anger and happy. There's part of me that's happy, honestly. There's part of me that's happy because we've had conversations this year. Is he's got to do something?
Well, he's been out-coached.
Now
we've said that a couple times.
Out-coached many times, but now I'm kind of leaning on, was he out-coached on purpose?
I don't know. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist.
I don't know. All I know is the brilliant mind of Lincoln Riley, blah, 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 everything that has been put. Who was it you were listening to when you came in?
1077.
1077. Whoever that. I heard they were talking about the guys there was like, Oklahoma's not going to be the quote front runner in SEC. They're going to have to earn every game just like everybody else.
Yep.
Oklahoma in the Big 12 is the front runner.
Yep.
USC in the Pac-12 is going to be the front runner now.
I mean, they got Oregon to deal with, but outside of Oregon, they got no one.
Yeah. So Lincoln likes to be the front runner.
Yeah.
He likes it to be easy.
Well, circling back to what we were talking about as far as why he's leaving and the problem that I have with it, I don't have a problem with him going for the money because anybody would probably, I mean, if you lined up 100 people, 99 of them, and the other one would be like, I don't know, would say, yeah, I'm taking that money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just.
For at least a year.
I mean, that's just smart, right?
Yeah.
The problem that I have, Terry, is as soon as all this happened, we got 7 future recruits decommitting.
Yeah.
Because he's talking to them.
Oh, yeah.
There's just no doubt that's happening. He's going, hey,
without a
USC, would like you to come. And especially the number 1 recruit in the nation who is 10 miles down the road from USC that we were so looking forward to getting.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's 2 years down the road.
I know. But right now, they're calling him.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, that's 2 years from now.
If he came out this year, he'd be the number 1 recruit this year.
Who's to say if it's Venables or, Larry Moe from Kokomo that we get that comes in here and doesn't re-recruit him, doesn't turn around here and go, boom, Oklahoma's still in the middle of everything next year, which I fully expect it will be, is in the middle of everything everywhere, and he pulls him. That's 2 years down the road. We got plenty of time to save that. What we can't save is the ones that were due this month, the early signing period.
Well, the thing about the Kokomo guy is you'll get there faster if you take it slow.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but, I mean, and to me, I know, I mean, I've been on both sides of the train wreck professionally. I've been to where I knew things were happening that I couldn't tell people that it affected. and that's a very difficult thing to do.
Did you flex on them?
And I've been on the other side of it too, to where things were happening and I wasn't told.
And did somebody flex on you?
Yeah, somebody flexed on me. But there's a right and a wrong way to do all of this, and I don't think anybody that works for me listens to this, so I don't really want, but I would hate for anybody. Bottom line is you can let people know without letting people know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can let that slip in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, you can, and this is a multi-billion-dollar operation with both college football. Lincoln could have gone in and said, "Hey, I'm considering this. I'm going to take this job. I don't want to leave. I don't want to burn bridges. I don't want to leave anything. Let's keep it between us. I'll do my job. Y'all do your job. And when the season's over, I'm gone." And I fully expect Joe C. and everybody involved would have went, good deal. That gave Joe C. time, because if y'all think, and Joe C. said it also in his deal, people said, you always say you have a short list. Do you really have that list? And, oh, yeah, I've always got a list. That's a good prepared man right there.
Well, there's nobody better at it than Joe C. And I got to tell you, Bob Stoops is right behind him.
Yeah.
Like one day, Bob Stoops may take over for Joe C. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that, but I don't care what anybody says. It's my opinion. But when Lincoln had personal business to tend to the Tuesday before the Baylor game,
that he was either
Southern in L.A. or Bug Tussle, Oklahoma, in a cave somewhere talking to USC. Why do I believe this? Because Rob and I just listened to the USC press conference.
Yep.
And their head guy,
by the way.
Yeah, their head guy who went after said they presented their candidates with a 50.
He said slide, which I was like,
slide.
Who's got slides now?
A 50 slide presentation.
Let's get the old projector fired up.
That they said. So that day, I don't care what anybody says, that day Lincoln Riley was somewhere watching a slide presentation from USC.
Probably girls playing volleyball on the beach.
Yeah. At least half of them.
Just saying.
That only needed one to get you to go, right? And
they probably could have just told me about it.
And they threw this ungodly amount of money at him.
Yep.
And said, "This is what we do because we want you." And Lincoln Riley told them then, it's a done deal.
Oh, yeah, for sure he did.
Yeah.
He's known this since Baylor.
Yeah,
since
Baylor.
Before Baylor.
The team was...
Which coincidentally, we lost.
Yeah, we lost. And, I've heard through the stuff, not through any on the radio and stuff, is that week people said that team did not prepare, that it was left up to the coaches to get them prepared to game plan and everything else. And it's been a crap show since then.
Yes, it has.
Yes,
it has. So that's the problem that I think, and you're agreeing, is the problem that we have with how this has happened.
Right.
I don't have any problem with him taking a better job for more money.
Yeah.
Because that's just smart.
Yeah. And, I get why he did it this time. I mean, the early signing period is up. He wants to get those signatures done. I even get that. But be a man, stand up to your employer and go, this is what I got from these guys. You can throw me another offer, but I'm going to California.
Yeah.
It
doesn't matter. Because nobody even said, we threw another offer at him, and he just, that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. He came to him and said, Sunday morning, called Joe C. and said, Joe C. said he was talking to these guys today and wanted to see what they had to offer, and then shortly later called him and said he was going to USC. Lincoln basically lied again, because at the USC press conference, he said for the last couple of weeks. So
honesty's always the best policy, Terry. Always.
So
unless you're talking to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking about that. I'm joking.
But it's mind-numbing to a university who has treated honestly, this man with utmost respect.
For sure. Well,
Okay.
that's what we do here at OU.
Treated him, gave him every ample opportunity, unlimited resources, da-da-da-da.
Finest facilities in the nation,
Yeah.
or up there,
Yeah.
for sure.
That you turn around and go, double birds,
Yeah.
and walk away. Did you see that O.J. Simpson is happy about it? O.J. tweeted,
Really?
"So Lincoln, O.J. loves you."
Well, I bet that made your list. Okay, freak, get out of here, psycho.
Yeah, Mike Steele retweeted it. He said, "We're in hell, aren't we?"
Something is crazy going on.
when O.J. is talking about his fantasy football. Oh, in my school. I'm sure USC loves that. Finally got.
Doesn't it fit? Guy must have quit.
But
Listen, I want to circle back around and do some flexing.
okay, flex, Rob.
No, I had to. I didn't even realize this was happening, but I was at the Baylor game with my son Casey, and Brent Swadley. You know who Brent Swadley is? Owns Swadley's Barbecue.
Yep.
Calls me on the phone. He's like, "Hey, Rob, I'm going to ask you, you know." And so when I hung up, I go, "Hey, Casey, you know who that was?" And he goes, "No." And I said, "That's Brent Swadley from Swadley's Barbecue." And he goes, "Are you flexing on me right now, Dad?" I was like, "Oh, I really wasn't trying to, but now that you brought it up, so that was kind of funny." Anyway,
So you just dropped the Swadley barbecue name.
dropped Swadley's Barbecue name on him.
Rob just earned him $1.5 million for saying Swadley's
No,
barbecue.
but I may get like a free sausage or something.
Sausage.
Shut up, Terry. You filthy pirate.
Why
hooker.
is it you want a free sausage, not a free brisket?
Listen, we're friends. I didn't say we were swapping spit in the shower.
Also, please, Lincoln Riley, will you get a hold of Travis and get his smokers back to him?
Sorry about that, Trav. We'll go pick those up.
Yeah, we'll
for
go.
you.
I told him, hey, man. I even told him I'm pretty sure we got a cop that could swing by USC and ask some questions about it. What do you think?
Listen, Scotty, you need to go ahead and just pull Lincoln over, impound that car.
Inbound. Do you think they're letting him drive a Lincoln out there, or do you think it's something else?
I think not. I think they were like, all right, as soon as you step out of this door, you need to pull all that red crimson stuff off, buddy, because you don't deserve it.
And did you see the video? They drove up to the airport in their, with their cars with OU license plates on it and stuff.
What a tool.
Yeah.
Listen, you need to Uber next time, you little punk.
Oh, and then, the USC, tweeted it, their pictures of him arriving at the airport, and there's Alex Grinch crawling out of the back of the thing. And I tweeted out, probably he'll get fired. Would that not be the greatest thing ever if in 4 years he got fired on the tarmac like Lane Kiffin?
That would be the sweetest revenge.
Yeah, but Travis Davison, who, if y'all don't know who Travis is, he owns Trey's Bar and Grill up in Tulsa. And he is also the guy who cooks those big giant tomahawk steaks at the OU Champion Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And his
Heck of a dude.
yeah, comes to the tailgate. But
Wait, are you flexing on people, Terry?
oh yeah, but Travis had his smokers. They're like $900 a piece smokers. I put $900,000 because he's going to sue. If he can sue, we want the price to go up. We're in Lincoln's garage.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis is just wanting his smokers back.
Can't blame him.
Yeah, so.
Because Lincoln doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah, Lincoln don't live there anymore.
He's living in the Beverly Hillbillies mansion down there with the cement pond.
With the cement pond. I'm just looking at all this stuff.
It's too much.
It's too
There's
much.
just too much going on. People are losing their minds. And I'm just like, oh, my God. And all these, just flat out lies just swirling around,
Yeah.
Of stuff that they have no clue. And not that I do.
Yeah.
But when two players that were actually in the meeting come out and say, yeah, that didn't happen, I'm probably going to believe that.
Yeah. You can't hear. OU should make Lincoln Riley pay back the money he made from the Baylor game on. He wasn't coaching the Sooners. He was negotiating and weaseling his way out of Norman. I agree. I'm trying to look here. Just going through. just some of the stuff. I'm trying to think. Rob, talk for a second.
Okie dokie.
Rob's not good at filling in dead air.
Here's the thing, though. If we get what I would really love to happen, Terry, is for us to announce, which is too late now, but if it was for us to have announced at 3:00 our new coach before USC could announce.
Yeah, that would have been
that would have been so awesome.
Awesome. I'm trying to,
and really, I'm hoping that it's Brent Venables, because I think that we're going to be decimated, player wise, and Brent's got his defense stuff worked out.
Yeah.
So defense, travels, and that's the old saying. And so if we can just get a solid core defense, and the offense can catch up, how about that?
Yeah.
I would be more happy, I think, if we got a defensive-minded coach, especially if he doesn't find a deco right off the bat.
Yeah.
So if we got Brent in here, Brent Venables, that knows how to play defense, and maybe even bring some big-time defensive recruits with him, that would help mitigate the damage that I think is still to come.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have players in the transfer portal. We may even have, players that were going to stay, like who's got another year? Ronnie Perkins has got another year.
Yeah.
He may just say, yeah, I'm not doing this, and just go ahead and hit into the draft. If he goes second, third, fourth round, that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Rather than try to learn a whole new system, a whole new coach, and who knows, may have a worse year as senior year and even go lower than that. So I hope those things don't happen, because it could really domino for us. And in fact, my youngest son said today that he is, what did he say? Pull it up here. And it really made sense that unintentionally or intentionally, I don't know which, but he said, gosh dang it, completely dismantling our program.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what's happening.
And it could get worse.
Yeah.
So,
Venables, I like Venables, but I mean, there are people out there, and I'm looking on Sooner Scoop's hot board here for their list of notable possibilities. There's people that believe that he doesn't even want to be a head coach.
And that's quite possible, because he's been in the league now for a long time.
Yeah.
20-something years, right?
Yeah.
And he's not ever taken a head coaching job. And you can't tell me he hasn't been offered, because we know he was from when he was here.
So he might just be happy. Also, I don't, I can only make the assumption. I think he still has a good rapport with the former players, because I listened to Teddy and a bunch of them. They still talk to him, but, I mean, he basically left because Bob brought back Mike.
Yeah, well,
so maybe, I don't know if he really would want to come back to Oklahoma.
Well, a lot of people were screaming for his job. I mean, we weren't playing very good defense at that time.
Yeah, but I don't think it was his fault. I think it was Bob changed the scheme, and Brent had to go along with it.
Yeah, he had to adjust. I tell you something, Terry. There's two coaches right here in the Big 12 that I would definitely have before some of the names that are being brought up.
Who's that?
The dude from Kansas State that came from North Dakota.
Yeah,
I think he's a heck of a coach.
Yep.
I just think he's got zero talent at Kansas State.
Yeah.
And Matt Campbell from Iowa State.
What about Dave Aranda from Baylor?
I just don't know enough about Aranda right now to know if he's – I mean, I feel like these other two guys have done a lot with very little.
Yeah.
And I can't remember his name, but the guy that came from North Dakota that's at Kansas State.
Yeah, Coach
Kleiman?
Coach Kleiman. Coach Kleiman.
Here's the thing. I mean, I don't know what league North Dakota is in or whatever, but he won that shit like 7 times in a row.
Yep.
And that's pretty good coaching.
Yeah, I don't care what level.
it is. That's good coaching.
3-on-3 football in,
You win it 7 times in a row, bro. You're doing something good.
Let's see. Dave Aranda, Baylor head coach. He was at Houston 2003 and 4 as linebackers. Wisconsin 13 to 15 defensive coordinator linebackers. LSU 2016, 2019 defensive coordinator linebackers. He can rebuild a roster as he did in Baylor in 2 years. And this comes from Sooner Scoop, just the stuff Aranda is a guy with SEC connections. Has also spent plenty of time recruiting elite talent and doing so in Texas and points further southeast.
Honestly, I don't know why he would leave Baylor. They're getting ready to be the big dog in the Big 12.
Yeah, true. Shane Beamer.
Too young, man. He's just. I mean, I know
44?
Lincoln was young. Huh?
He's 44.
Oh, I thought he was 34.
No, 44.
44? Are you sure?
Yeah, that's why. I mean,
Okay, you're reading it.
I'm not.
I was thinking he was 34 for some reason.
No, I'm not. You know, I haven't seen his birth certificate or nothing, but he was assistant head coach and tight ends coach. You know, people brought up his name for his dad's old job, and he said he wasn't interested, which I get that. I wouldn't, you know, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, because Beamer's a legend at Tech.
Yeah. So, but I could see that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, some people say that South Carolina is where he's always wanted to be.
And he said, you know, but then again, why do we want to believe any coach? Because Lincoln Riley just said Oklahoma is where I want to be.
They're all liars.
Yeah. But Luke Fickle, I do not want him. I do not like that name. So.
Oh, don't be fickle.
Cincinnati's head coach. He's a program builder. Oklahoma would be hard pressed to find more likely to fit with athletic director Joe Castiglione. Fickle is a steady guy who actually has some similar feel to Oklahoma's current head coach Bob Stoops. Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame defensive coordinator. Don't know who he is. Josh Heupel, not a snowball chance in hell. Josh Heupel comes back.
Yeah, I think he's still got hard feelings with the way that he was let go and stuff. Here's the thing: I think we ought to go after Saban.
Why not?
He might not come.
Yeah,
and then after that, Belichick.
Yeah. Well, what, Rob? You think we could get enough money together to offer Nick a
Nick don't need any money. Affleck
a private jet.
Him. Dude, does Oklahoma? I'm sure Oklahoma has a private jet, don't they?
Yeah. Dan Lanning, Georgia defensive coordinator.
That wouldn't be a bad deal.
That wouldn't be
best defense in the country.
He's 35. He's been coaching since 2004. He was outside linebackers coach in 2000. He's built the best defense in the country.
Yeah.
Right now.
So when you get somebody like that, you automatically assume, which is not always good to do, that if he comes into your program, that he's going to be able to pull that same defense or that same talent anyway into your squad. And that's not necessarily the case, but I think you're rolling the dice anytime you bring in a defensive coordinator that's not had head coaching experience.
Yeah.
But we've done it twice now.
Right.
So.
What about Art Briles?
No, that's going to be a hard pass for me.
Would you turn in your Sooner card if they hired Art Briles?
Listen, I'm always when I die, I'm gonna be Sooner. You know, so no, but I would not be happy. Of course, I wasn't happy when I was like Bob Stoops.
Who's that?
Come on, really? We gotta, when do we gotta pull a SEC coordinator? And then all of a sudden he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I said that. I liked it when they brought in what's his face from Miami that just passed not too long ago. What's his name? The damn Flicksager or Bomberooski.
Schnellenberger.
Snelling.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking that Snellenberger was going to be a good hire.
Oh, I did too, and everybody in the country did too. At that
negative.
time. Yeah, it just wasn't. I mean, that was at a time, probably 5 years before. It probably would have worked, but. And I'm serious about that because the Snellenberger kind of came in an era where things were changing and how you treated kids and how you did things. And that old man wasn't going to change for nobody.
No, well, and the whole atmosphere of college football was changing.
Yeah.
It was no longer, I mean, a lot of teams still did it, but it was moving away from 3 yards in a cloud of dust to, let's throw it to this guy that runs a 4.240 and just let him run down the field with it. Which, I think is smarter, but.
Jeff Lebby.
So I heard a lot about Levy today, as everybody was posting stuff, and I don't think that would be a bad, but it's right back in that same kind of unproven type situation. So I don't know.
Well, I've heard a lot of people going. It would be an amazing get if like Venables was the head coach and Levy was the offensive coordinator.
So that's what I've been hearing is that like he would bring in somebody like that.
Right.
And specifically his name was mentioned.
Right.
So I would be okay with that, but not as a head coach. Does that make sense?
Yep. Jay Norvell, hard pass. No
hard
thanks.
pass. Yeah, no thanks.
Let's see.
I mean, we don't even have to talk about anybody else. If we don't get anybody in the, the sexy top 4 that we were just talking about, then we're in trouble.
I'm with you. I like K-State coach, Coach Clammer. I do. I always have. I think.
And he'd leave K-State for in a heartbeat, wouldn't he?
And I think Dave Aranda would leave Baylor for OU. Because Aranda just looks like a guy who would punch you in the face just for he's a lot like Venables, that would, you know what, I'll fight you, okay?
Here's the thing, Terry, a job is getting ready to open up, and it's going to be the sideline guy to keep Venables back off the field. Are you up to,
we can both do that one.
Did he turn around and swing at that guy from Clemson one time? Man, I don't know if I'd be okay with that. I'd be like, hey, listen, just pay me what you owe me, I'm out.
That's another thing with Venables. As a head coach, you can't be that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
he's going to have to get a chill.
Have we ever seen Venables not?
No, he loses his shit on the sideline. Literally loses
everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to love it when we would see it on the sidelines at OU, and then we hated it when you look at that dummy. He's out there. They're having it. But he is that passionate about that side of the ball.
Yeah,
Could he stand there and be astute, a Bob Stoops, I'm going to yell and scream, but tie a bungee strap on that dude that's only 4 foot long, so when he runs out there, he pulls it back all by itself.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not a big guy, so if he's got a bungee cord strapped to, big heavy guy.
But I've seen him in person. Again, he looks like he will punch you in the face.
Oh, I wouldn't mess with him.
literally, we've seen Bob around, and you've said hi to him. I've said hi to him. He's taking pictures and everything. I've seen Lincoln around. Lincoln's was always friendly. I've seen other coaches around. I saw Brent Venables twice, and both times I was scared of him. I was like, "Ooh, there's Coach Venables," and I took 2 steps. And I was like, "I'm not talking to that guy," because he was walking wherever he was going with a purpose.
Well, he'd go Yoda on you, like he'd be just all around your head, and you'd be like, "What the hell is going on here?"
So I don't know. I mean, it's. The one thing that really upsets me about all this, I only have 2 things to put up here in the podcast palace. I just got everything the way I wanted it. You think I'm leaving those up, Rob?
Oh, no, those are coming down. The old Lincoln.
The old Lincoln autographed items.
It's going on eBay.
For what? I don't have to pay people. I'll give you $5 to come and pick them up.
I don't know. Some of them USC people got more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I could do the the Lincoln Riley one, the one that has Lincoln's picture on it. Maybe somebody would buy that, but I don't think man, I hate taking that 125-year one down, but I honestly thought he'd be here until a couple of years after he won a national title, but then I was thinking that would he have ever won a national title here at OU?
I don't know. It wasn't looking like it because he had ample opportunity.
Yeah.
And as well as I do, we said a year or so ago that if you don't beat us that year,
we've been saying that for
because he had all the talent in the world here this year, and we were pedestrian.
Right.
Terry.
And here I'm not. I am going to try to toot my own horn. Okay, everybody.
Listen, you got to do that in private. Too.
Who has listened to this podcast? Not a whole lot of you have listened to it, but from the beginning. But if you go back in your feeds there, on all of our podcasts are up. You can go back to the very beginning, number 1, number 2, number 3, all that stuff. Rob and I talked about it, and I've always said it is, I don't care what he's doing in year 1. I want to see what he's doing in year 4 and 5. And this is what he did.
This is what he did.
It got tougher, and he quit. It was going to get tougher, and he quit.
A lot of people say he turned tail and ran.
Yeah, and I mean,
scared of the SEC.
I think he was. I believe that. I think that he did not like it. Because let's face it, who in the SEC has he beat?
He beat Auburn. He beat Alabama. He beat Florida.
He beat Alabama?
Well, he was OC, right? Wasn't he OC that year?
I don't think so.
Oh, you're right. That was 16, and
that
he
was,
come till 17, right?
Heupel was the coach.
I don't know.
Was it OC?
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, but he beat Auburn and he beat Florida.
Auburn was down. Florida, half their team left.
You sound like what's his face that just got fired from Florida? Well, I don't even know.
Dan Mullins.
Mulchick or something.
Well, didn't he? Dan Mullins said that. My point. I mean, he's going to have to play, and we've talked about being excited about it. We're going to get to play Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU. We're not going to have any of these Kansas State games anymore. It's going to be top dog, fun environments, big time football. Lincoln gets the same thing. Goes, I'm going to USC to where, guess what? The only people watching my games are either crackheads or Californians, which might be the same thing.
And did you see the schedule for USC next year?
They
play absolutely nobody except for Notre Dame, and they're not very good.
No.
So,
but
Oregon,
nobody watches. Nobody on the East Coast watches the games.
Oh,
I mean, I might.
Probably not.
But I'm usually cranking things down at about 10 o'clock after OU plays, if that. But nobody's going to be watching it except West Coast people. So that's all he's going to really go after is the West Coast. The only time he's going to have to compete against anybody is if he gets into the college football playoffs.
Yeah, but they're having a pretty hard time of it right now.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think he wanted the competition. I honestly don't. There's no other you can talk money and everything else. You got a wonderful job. You got one of the best jobs. Anybody will tell you. Any coach will tell you Oklahoma is one of the best jobs in the country. Nick Saban will tell you it's one of the best jobs in the country.
It's got to be top 5 for sure.
Yeah. There's not one better. It's just a different and for you to walk away from that because, I'm going to take more money. Bullcrap. I believe the guy was chicken shit and didn't want to face the tougher competition year round.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I couldn't say that you were wrong for sure.
So, now we have an interim head coach. Have you ever heard of this guy before?
Once or twice.
I mean,
he photobombed us once.
He photobombed. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It kind of upset us that he just thought he could just jump into our pictures
until we figured out who he was.
Yeah, but interim head football coach Bob Stoops.
I think there's no chance that that's any type of long-term situation.
Oh no, it's not. I mean, Bob even said they they asked Bob at the press conference, what if it takes after the bowl and into it? Bob goes, Joe's not going to take that long.
No, but he did go on to say, I'll stay here as long as it's
needed.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was on the golf course, they called him.
I'm afraid I'd had to come after we're done there, Terry.
Apparently, he said he wasn't having a good game. So,
okay.
But
in that case,
and that's why he answered his phone. And they asked him to come and talk, and they both of them said he said, "Whatever you need, I'm on my way." And they approached him, "Will you be interim?" And he did.
How'd you like to play golf with Coach Stoops?
I want to see how he plays golf with that jinky finger. The one that's twisted sideways and out and points to the North Pole.
What are you doing looking at his fingers?
Dude, how can you not see Have you not ever seen that finger that looks like it's been
not.
Okay, it's in all the pictures that we have with him too. So
again, I'm not looking at his
ask
fingers.
Lisa about his fingers.
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Lisa, listen, you might want to keep that to yourself.
But he was on the golf course. They call him. He comes in. They ask him. He said, "Sure, whatever you need." They even to the point of, because you can't be an active head coach and be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame, which he's supposed to be here in a month or a couple of weeks, whenever that is.
Mm-hmm.
They contacted the College Football Hall of Fame and said, "Hey, can he be interim? And they went, yeah, he's not an active head coach. So, because part of the criteria to be in, you're done. You're not coaching anymore. So now he's the interim head coach.
So what are the odds that we get an announcement of a head coach tomorrow?
I think we'll know something by maybe tomorrow, maybe the end of the week. If it goes past Friday, I'll be shocked. I would be shocked if it goes past Friday.
Yeah.
And
because they got to get a handle on these recruits.
Yeah, they got it. And here's another thing. Okay, Oklahoma is going to be playing somebody in a bowl game. Hopefully the Cheez-It Bowl. We talked about going to the Alamo Bowl. You want to go to the Cheez-It Bowl if they go to the Cheez-It Bowl?
Where's that one at?
I don't know. Cheez-It Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl.
I mean, I've been to the Alamo, seen that, done that,
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to, hey, these bullet holes are like 100 years old or whatever, however, that was amusing for maybe a minute. And then I'm like, okay, let's go down the Riverwalk, So I'm not big on that one. Yeah, I'm not big on that one.
It happens on, it's 29 days, 23 hours, 17 minutes, 30 seconds until then.
Somebody out there right now knows.
It's in Florida.
It's in Florida.
Yeah. It's at the Citrus Bowl. It's in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, okay.
Orlando, Florida.
Well, I don't know. I don't really want to go to Florida, but.
I mean, do you think they'll have free Cheez-Its there?
It's a strong possibility. Actually, it'd probably be more like, we'll give you this free bag for $5.
Yeah, I think it's the same place that they did or used to have or they still made the Camping World Bowl.
Didn't we play in the Cheez-It Bowl one year?
I think it was the Camping World Bowl.
Like a long time ago?
I don't remember Cheez-It Bowl. I know we played in the Sharpie Bowl.
The Sharpie Bowl?
Yeah, the Sharpie Liberty Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
But it looks like Big 12 and ACC learn more. Let's see here.
Wasn't that Bob's first year, the Liberty Bowl?
Yep.
Down in Memphis no, not Memphis.
Shreveport. The 2021 Cheez-It Bowl featuring top 10s from the ACC and Big 12 will take place Wednesday, December 29th.
So that they'll take the third team out of the Big 12, or you think we get?
I think it's the third team, but they've said, I heard people talking that the Alamo may get that choice because it's closer and it would be better revenue for everybody involved.
It's not closer than Baylor.
No, but Baylor is going to be the second team and number 2 team in the Big 12.
Right.
So, I mean, Lincoln screwed that up for us.
Yeah. It's kind of going back to it. You really hate to believe that he wanted us to lose to either Baylor or he probably didn't want to lose to Oklahoma State just because, but once we beat Iowa State, he didn't really have a choice. And you kind of hate to believe that he wanted us to lose, and I almost refuse to believe that. But there is footage of him, the pass interference in the end zone, that would have put us first and goal at the whatever. He wasn't unhappy about that call.
He didn't lose his mind. He should have.
When you and I were literally inventing new curse words, right?
I think I spoke in tongues. So
it started with, how is that not pass interference?
Then
it was almost unintelligible.
Yeah.
He wasn't unhappy about that.
No.
So I didn't notice that until you pointed it out.
He was content. He was content to lose the game to move on. He was content against Iowa State. He was content against Baylor. And
because now he doesn't have to play in the Big 12 and he gets to be in USC today.
Right. I think from Baylor on, he was content. And I think he coached that way. I think he planned on leaving Oklahoma this year. There is no rhyme or reason how Oklahoma can drop so far with the talent that they have on the offense. And we all ask it. We've heard everybody saying, you know what, the defense didn't surprise us because this is what he's produced as a defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
The offense surprised us.
How does Lincoln go? How do we have the worst offense in the Big 12 now?
And we can take it one step further. Anytime we had a play that was just fantastic and you're like, oh, where's that been? We never seen it again.
Yep. Yeah, and Teddy Lehman used to call it. He kind of joked around. But he would ask Lincoln about it, and Teddy called it the uncoverable play. You can't cover it. And you and I asked him, what is it? He goes, I can't go into detail, but I know which one it is. But he said, there's no way somebody is going to be wide open on that play every time.
And we've not run it all year.
And haven't seen it once this year. And it's usually the tight end coming in behind everybody, and it's wide open.
Yeah.
Okay, and has been for 5 years, and I didn't see it once this year.
We didn't run any wheel route plays, which are always good for us because our backs can catch, and most of the time they're.
Yeah.
I mean, we just didn't see a lot of the. It's almost like he didn't even open his playbook all year long.
Right, and then even in the Oklahoma State game, Herbie said one time that this is Oklahoma. The counter play, that's Oklahoma's bread and butter, and Oklahoma. And OSU has it figured out. They know what's coming. But here's the thing. What was it, 3 years ago when we played TCU? Gary Patterson said the same thing as Oklahoma runs a counterplay, but they run it with 15 different blocking schemes and 15 different ways.
That's right.
He goes, it's difficult to defend. And all of a sudden this year, everybody could defend it. I mean.
And when we have a quarterback that we should be setting that play up so that he definitely, the defensive end crashes and he definitely keeps it. And we just didn't see that enough.
Yeah.
Didn't see it enough.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, and I believe this, you and I talked about it before. Well, I know we haven't had a podcast. Me and Rob have had our own conversations. But it seemed like Lincoln was holding Caleb back.
Yeah.
These last several games because he never, ever played a game indecisive until Baylor. And it was like Lincoln told him, which I kind of get, was let the routes develop. Da-da-da. But we watched Caleb Williams stand back there against Iowa State, Baylor, with 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, a lot.
And would not take off. There was times he went to take off, and he stopped and back up. Mm-hmm. I think it was in his head. Lincoln was telling
don't run, yeah.
Yeah, don't run. You keep doing this, I'm going to pull you out.
Maybe.
But
what else has been weird about this year is he never really came out. I mean, he definitely said, Caleb Williams is a potential star, but he never, he's got a lot of work to do, and he's got a lot of making a lot of mistakes and stuff
that y'all don't see.
I don't understand. Is it because he didn't want when Spencer Rattler, who I fully believe will commit to USC tomorrow, he didn't want Spencer going, well, he didn't even like me. Caleb's is
there has been those rumors bouncing around out there that he pulled him aside and said, hey, going to sit you down. Don't want you to get hurt. I'm not going to be here. You'll be where I'm at. There's people that think that. I don't know.
I don't know, but USC's got a pretty good little quarterback that came in last year. He's a redshirt, or
I watched him play.
I don't know what he is, but he's young. He's still got 2 years to play up there.
Yeah.
Or 3. So there's no guarantee that Spencer Rattler can go in there and just take that spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if the head coach just gives it to him, he could, but I don't know if that would go with the current USC players or not.
Who knows?
It's aggravating to say the least, and I think I agree with you on most of all of your points about how he was scared of the SEC. He, for whatever reason, wanted out of Norman because of it.
Yeah. Have you seen the FULR shirts that are coming out?
No, but I know that it wasn't long before people were already, they've got one out now that says Bob's got our back.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, man, you guys are quick on the job with those T-shirts. I'm just saying.
And see, we don't think that quick, do we? It's like, some of you folks have called me. Some folks have sent me messages. It's not that I don't know anything, but my phone yesterday, after Caleb told me what was going on, and I sent to you, my phone was blowing up.
You know the only person that ever calls me?
Who?
It's that person that's really worried about my warranty running out. Well, that sucker calls me every day.
I had a couple people, and I don't mind you calling me. I really don't. But I don't know anything, and some of y'all called me in the middle of the day when I was working, This I have to feed myself and my wife, but mainly me first, and then then three. No, but just and friends, my you and I and Dan and the group of us talking, and then other friends, and then people that I've met, we met through the podcast, and it was just constant. And I didn't look on Twitter I didn't look at my phone from the end of the game until after we played golf yesterday, which was 2:30 when we got done.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to see all the BS about Okie Stank.
Yeah.
Which they got to be pissed because this is taking all their glory out of.
Oh no, they're gonna ride it. They're gonna ride it as long as they can.
But,
they may get it handed to them this week by Baylor.
They could, but hats off to Oklahoma State. I mean, I when we were up 9 points, I thought it was done. We were playing like I thought. Yeah, we got this in hand.
And the offense stalled.
Huh.
Kind of sketchy. Just saying.
I agree. And
defense played a fantastic football game.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And but that Lincoln Riley offense that never showed up all year long still didn't show up in the biggest game of the season to put us in the Big 12 championship.
I was thinking, okay, he's got some plays squirreled. He's got the green notebook from the Water Boy, right? He's got some plays squirreled away in there for just this occasion, and
nothing.
No, we got that counter trade that didn't work all night long.
I literally think everything that happened in that second half and in that final drive was all our athletes. The big run, all Brooks, all it was them doing their thing, not Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, because he's standing over there going, in a few hours I'm going to be on a private jet headed to my $7 million mansion.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to the beach to watch some beach volleyball. Oh, well, that may be just me. But.
That was you, Rob. Yeah, I mean, I don't care who you are. Human nature, you're preoccupied with, most companies, if you turn in a 2-week notice, don't let you work out your 2-week notice for a reason. You're only if they need a body or they don't trust it's go ahead, move on. You got, your mind's not going to be in it. You're not going to be there. He wasn't there. He wasn't there the last 3 games. I don't think he was there all year long. I think he was mad and frustrated about having to go to the SEC.
Honestly, I wished he would have just came out right before the Baylor game and said, look, USC's going to have me. I'm going to go.
No.
And then Bob could have stepped in it. Because
stepped
live or
in
die, I would have been okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
it'd have been at least not,
it would have been genuine.
Like a monkey throwing thesis at us.
Yeah.
But, it's, but I trust Josie. If there's anybody I trust to do it, somebody made a point today, how you do things is how Bob did it. Bob, and I can't find the tweet I was looking for, but they said, Lincoln's in it for the money, Bob's in it for the program.
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe Bob wanted to retire, and I've said this before, and I think you agree with me, is that Josh Heupel was going to be the next head coach at Oklahoma, but it kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
Bob was priming him. Bob was priming his successor. He got Lincoln. It just turned out that was the guy. He turned it over in pristine shape. And Josie even said that. I mean, he got this program.
We were title contenders.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go. And
you can't do it any better than that.
Yeah. Lincoln could have done it better than this. He could have said, he could have told them, hey, this university has been rock solid with me, this coaching staff. I'm coming, but I'm coming. If I'm your man, like they keep saying, this was our number one guy, the guy we wanted. You're doing it on my terms. I'm leaving after I win a title at Oklahoma this year, if that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm putting my full effort into Oklahoma for the remainder of the year.
Yeah.
I think everybody would have been fine with that.
I think so.
But it was
been better than what we got.
It was sneaky behind the back. He's burnt bridges.
I think so.
Who's going to hire the guy when he gets fired at USC?
Anybody probably would, just because they're all wolves. But right? I mean, people hired Kiffin.
Yeah, well, true.
And
there's talk about Art Briles coming back into the coach.
What's his nuts from he was at Kansas, Les Miles.
Yeah.
Right? One day he said, hey, I'm not leaving here ever. And then he left that and went straight and got on a plane and went to wherever it was he went. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, and I agree with some people on Twitter. I think Bob's pissed. I mean, I know the dealer is my friendship, and he probably will always cherish it. But, you know, if you think Bob's happy about the way this was handled by Lincoln, you're out of your damn mind.
I think so. No.
Because Bob, in my opinion, and every time I've never seen anything different, is a straight shooting guy.
Let me ask you this, Terry. What if Bob comes in this bowl game and the offense clicks and we just hammer like we should have been looking all year?
We will get in. We will charter our own private plane, and we will fly to Lincoln's house.
We'll go up there. We'll have Scotty deputize us.
Exactly.
We're going to go to his house, and there's going to be a pistol whipping. I'm just saying.
If we come out, I'm not worried about the defense. The defense has the athletes. Bob knows what he's doing. He's gonna put somebody. My only deal is who's going to call the offense, who's going to do what, and he kind of hit it around that. It'll be a group effort and da 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 da. I think the minds there are there enough to run it, but I'm with you. If we come out and
it looked like a whole different team,
run the ball down the field right up the middle, boom, 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 boom,
it's going to be bad. Too.
And Beedenbow goes, this is a scheme I wanted to use, but Lincoln was like, no, I want to use this scheme. Da 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 da.
Now I will say this: Scotty and I had a discussion about me coming out because, like, L.A. is requiring all their police officers to be vaccinated, and over 1,000 of them have said we're not doing that, and they're going to let them. They're going to fire them.
Yeah.
And I told Scotty, give me a pistol. I will come out and pistol whip folks for you. And he said to me, see right there, Rob, I don't think that would be a good fit for us. So I'm not sure he would, give us a pistol, but we could like club him or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could, set and throw poop at him as it comes out.
I mean,
that's kind of what he did to us.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, no, if Oklahoma's offense comes out and rolls, there's going to be some people pissed off.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to get worse for Lincoln
and
Riley.
These two sitting right here talking to you guys that you're listening to will be the first ones to be screaming our heads off that he tanked this year.
Tanked it from first kickoff to now.
Yeah, I know he tanked it from Baylor to now.
Well, but I'm like 95%. I mean, I really would hate to think that somebody did that intentionally.
No, come on, Rob. They presented him with a 50-slide presentation the week of the Baylor game,
right?
And you said it yourself. Anybody's going to leave when they want to double your salary to $100 million. He tanked. Whether he did it on purpose or not, he didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley did not give a crap from Baylor on. I'm not sure he gave a crap before then, or as much of a crap as he did before, but I damn sure know he didn't give a crap from Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State because it showed.
If going to the SEC was the turning point for him, they announced that before the first game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. All of a sudden,
All of a sudden, our offense can't move the ball.
Yeah.
When we've got, 4 number one receivers and a tight end that's fantastic, and all the backs can catch out of the backfield, and a quarterback that's phenomenal.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'm just so
a little frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what how to put it into words. And it's not. Oh, you did. You did this to Oklahoma. It's just the fact that you start seeing things in my, we have crimson glasses, but I'm seeing things as now I kind of get what went on.
Yeah, and this could have long-lasting effect. I mean, we could go into the SEC and get pounded for several years.
Dean Blevins tweeted out a couple of, this is dismantling the OU program right now.
Yeah.
Short term, and it can have long-term effects.
I mean, we could actually lose to Texas.
No, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. No. it's right now it is dismantling this. You're going to see guys entering the transfer portal, and I did like what Bob said. The entering transfer portal doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it sure does scare me to death.
It scared, I mean, and even Joe C said it. They may enter the transfer portal. They're still a part of the team. They've just entered the transfer portal to see, and they get the new we get the new coach in there, and they go, never mind.
Well, we've got some big time guys that will be coming back next year that have got a lot of playing time for us in right now. It would certainly, people like Key Lawrence, I mean, he certainly could go. Who else am I? Some of those defensive guys, like I said, Ronnie Perkins, I think has one more year, doesn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but
I don't think he does.
Oh, it does not. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it would hurt to lose, some of those guys that were.
No, yeah, Ronnie Perkins does because there was a deal said that they were thinking of coming back, but that was part of the tweet or the deal. There was screaming and hollering and people calling Lincoln out at the deal. That was part of that, but I know he does have another year. So
I wouldn't definitely hold it against any kid that wanted to come out and go pro, because I mean, who's not gonna want to go? Even if you made the league minimum, Terry, that's better living than most of the nation makes.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, you can't, with the way it's set up now, the transfer portal and everything. I mean, I loved what Bob said. He's not Oklahoma, and I think I know he said that on purpose. He said to the kids and the families and their families here, he's not Oklahoma. You are.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of these kids came to Oklahoma because of Lincoln. They might want to follow him elsewhere, but Bob's going, it ain't him. It's you. And I love what Creed Humphrey put out the tweet. It ain't the coach. It's the name on the front of your jersey.
Mm-hmm.
K9 even tweeted out, listening to Bob Stoops, fire Coach Stoops, had the big flames around it, Coach Stoops. Obviously they haven't gone through it, but these guys in the pros know what they're talking about. It's the pride. If you came here for Lincoln Riley, that's one thing, but the other part is that if you've been here 2 or 3 years, you should be a Sooner,
right?
Or even a year. You're a Sooner.
If you're coming here as a quarterback, because Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer, he's going to make you a first round, maybe even a first pick of the first round. Let's be honest. Baker Mayfield is not a prototypical NFL quarterback. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yep.
I mean, he's what, 5'10"?
Yep.
He's got good arm strength and he makes good decisions. But it was Lincoln Riley that turned him into a pro.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he's probably not going to the pros.
Yep.
If he's just got an average quarterback coach. So, I mean, I get that, a quarterback might say, well, I want to go to USC now because I'm a quarterback and I need that guy to, put me into the first round of the NFL draft.
Right.
But anybody else, I can't imagine they would follow him just because he's Lincoln Riley.
Right.
Especially after what he did this year with the talent that he has.
Yeah. Somebody explain that to me. How did he? That's the questions we were all asking. Was how is this offense not just? It's got better athletes everywhere than it had 4 or 5 years ago. Everywhere.
Do you consider USC to be one of the blue blood programs? Because I know that some people are iffy about them.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they've kind of moved out of the blue blood. But I think, back in the 70s, 80s, probably. But I don't know. I mean, they haven't been consistent since the 70s and before. You know what I mean? They've been like in out,
nice little run in the 90s, but
and then another one in the 2000s. But I mean, they're just it's Southern California, and it's a Flakeville out there.
Well, we've seen they cheated to get Reggie Bush, and that's how they were so successful then. But
and maybe that's why Lincoln went out there. It's easier to cheat.
Maybe
that hey, we can buy people houses, buy families houses.
Well, I heard that he was really frustrated with our compliance department because
I've heard that
compliance doesn't bend,
Yeah.
which I think is necessary.
Yeah.
We don't want to be, on the front page of Sports Illustrated with our quarterback in handcuffs.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't want that.
Yeah, that's again, that's what a lot of the things that I hear and I believe, the SEC, the compliance. And I think, didn't Josie and them kind of talk about that? We're always in discussions about that, always in discussions about compliance, always in discussions about this and that, always in discussions about, maybe he was getting frustrated because he didn't feel like he could do all he could do. He's getting beat out on a few recruits that, maybe if you do something a little fishy, that nobody find out about.
Well, they'll definitely sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think everybody's tired of listening to us bitch, Rob.
Probably.
But we are considering people to get on the podcast, so we'll be in touch.
Hey, are we still going to Atlanta?
I don't know.
Oh.
Really? You're going to ask me that today?
It just hit my brain, and we hadn't talked about it in a while. So,
but enjoy college or beach volleyball, Lincoln. His name, I think we should vow to never speak it again.
Right. Because you know what? Here at Oklahoma, you win enough games like he was in line to do, you get a statue.
Yeah.
I think probably you got to win a national title, but maybe not if he,
Yeah, but, he's
not getting one now.
Yeah, he's not getting one now. You think he's going to come back for Baker and Kyler's
no, I don't think
Heisman
so.
Trophy presentation? I'd love to hear what they think about this,
They would probably just give a political answer. They can't.
I don't know. I think Baker would be Baker's a Sooner through and through. He might be, two birds. But anyway, that's a podcast, guys. Have faith. Josie has us. Bob's got our back for a couple of weeks. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to be back in it, back in the saddle. Oklahoma just doesn't go away ever. So, great leadership. I'm not worried. That's podcast. Boomer up.
Sooner, Terry.